Yeah, we were almost late today. We were talking and
I
had a
know.
great conversation. I look up and I'm like, oh, 4 seconds. We got to
Four
go live.
seconds. Yeah. So, well, hello everybody. Carter and I had a pre-game, just kind of interesting conversation. So it's
Yeah,
gonna be,
really good.
yeah. This is actually going to be, in my mind, this is going to be a really fun one. And the reason is there's so many people that don't understand listings. So I kind of want to get into this because this is something that's come up several times recently in conversations with me. So why do you do it? What is it? How does it work? All that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about claiming and managing your local business listings. So it's not really as hard as it used to be because there's some business tools. We're going to get to that at the end and let you in on a couple of secrets of how if you're doing it yourself, it still takes some time. There's some manual things that have to be done, but there's some tools that you could use that help. You know, way back in the day, they didn't have any tools, and we had to do this one by one, and it was a slog. So, it's a little bit easier these days. So that's good. Um, all right. You ready to just jump in?
Yeah, let's jump in.
All
Real
right.
quick before we do, just welcome everybody coming in. Make sure you give us a thumbs up or like or say hello in the comments just so that we know you're here. We can acknowledge you. And if you have questions as we go today, then make sure you put those in the comments as well so that we can see those and answer them for you.
Absolutely. Thanks for that. I just dive in, I just get
Oh,
on.
no, it's fine. We just
Go,
want to
go.
make sure that we at least say hi to people.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That is so true. So here we go. So this is one that you do have to claim yourself. You have to go in and you have to do some things with it, but it's called Google Business Profile. Now, this is the third name it's had. So, we're going to call it the Google Business Profile because if I call it some of the other two that it's had, then it gets in my head and I call it for that for the next month. And people go, yeah, who are you? So Google Business Profile, that is really a local profile that you have. A lot of people call it the map listing. And the reason they call it the map listing is because the map shows up, your listing shows up. There's a map on the right side, listings on the left. There used to be, believe it or not, in the old days, there used to be 10 listings on the left. And now it's gone all the way down to 3. So there's now 3 listings on the left, but there's a button at the bottom that says you can find more. So if you don't not own those 3 listings, you hit that button and it'll show you all the listings and you can go in and kind of look and see where you are on that order, where that is. So that's always fun. So that's really that, but there's a lot of things that you can do, and we'll talk about that. But here's, before I get into any more on the Google Business Profile, I want to talk about consistency. So there's some things that you need to be really consistent with. The name of your business is one. So let me give you an example. So Spark Marketer is pretty easy because it's a DBA. But we actually, our company name and everything we do business is Harkins Hill LLC. Okay. So if I went out and I put Harkins Hill LLC, all of a sudden that's going to screw up Spark Marketer. But we do business as Spark Marketer. So I need to make sure that all of our listings are Spark Marketer. Now, if you have a company that is an LLC or, whatever, what is it? I can't remember all the other company deals. It's a corp,
Sole
LLC, partnership,
proprietor. Yeah, partnership.
sole proprietor, all those kind of stuff. If in the name you use it has LLC and you put that in one listing, you really need to put that in all the listings. Or if you don't want to put it in the listing, then don't put it in all the listings, but just put whatever your name is without the LLC. So it doesn't matter what you use, okay? What matters is how do people know you? Most people have no idea it's Harkins Hill LLC, okay? They know us by Spark Marketer, so that's what we're gonna put that in front. And the other thing is the consistency of the name is great for branding, so you don't want to mess it up for branding's sake. But if you start doing it different in all the different listings, then all of a sudden that causes problems. Now, can Google figure out at you? Yeah, it may just take them a little longer. Let's just make it easy for Google. That's kind of the deal. So make everything you do, the phone number you use. Now, I want you to talk a little bit about tracking numbers here, because in the old days, when we didn't have the dynamic insertion, we had to have the same phone number on every single listing. So how do those tracking numbers work with consistency?
Well, Google has finally figured out that tracking numbers are effective marketing online, and have allowed for a lot more understanding of that. But also the companies that use tracking, services like CallRail or Customermatic or things like that, they're able to the script is able to tell whether or not the visitor visiting the website is truly a person, or if it's a bot, a search bot. So if it's a search bot, then the search bot identifies itself as being Google. And if it's a Google search bot, then we show them the canonical phone number, the main phone number for the business on the website. If it's another type of visitor, an actual person in the geographic region for the website, then we put up a different number that helps us be able to track where they're coming from, and be able to know in our own statistics how many people are calling from the website, the number on the website. And it's just a script that goes underneath the hood that hooks up to a system that has multiple phone numbers for tracking purposes in place to be able to track everything.
So in relation to claiming and managing listings, then what you'll need to know is this. Always use your main phone number in the listings, unless, all right, and Google Business Profile is one, they actually provide a tracking number. So Google themselves provide that tracking number. But when you put your number on there, you do need to use your main number. I've had people ask me that question. So always use your main number. On Google Business Profile, Google themselves put the tracking number on there. So we know that's where it comes from. Well, I said that backwards, didn't I? So we know that is where the lead comes from, or the whatever.
This might be an interesting point to see. It's been a minute, but it seems that Google also has the ability to specify whether or not the number that you want to show listed, you can check a box and say this is a tracking number, and then it'll also give you a place to put the main phone number for the business there too, so that it'll display whatever tracking number you want, even if it's not one that Google supplied, because Google realizes that people use services, they want to be able to collate or track all of those phone numbers under their own dashboard and not just rely on Google to provide that number. So, but I could be wrong. So I will verify that and make sure that I tag on to this after the fact, so that people can read my comment to verify whether or not that's the case.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a new one on me, but they change all the time, so it could absolutely be that way. So I'm going to put Terry's comment up here, because this is another thing that happens, and I love talking about this because everybody has a scenario, right? So they have two listings with a variation on the name. If that listing is in fact a duplicate listing, then yes, what you'll want to do is you don't want to delete it. You want to mark it as a duplicate, because if they both have reviews on them, if you delete it, you lose your reviews. If you mark it as a duplicate and ask them to merge them, okay, you should be able to keep the reviews from both. That's the difference between deleting something and marketing it as a duplicate to merge. So hopefully, Terry, that makes sense. Just wanted to make sure that we answered that question, because that's a
big one.
Yeah, it is a good one. So consistency is real important. So the next thing you're going to want to do is optimize your Google Business Profile. Now, a lot of people don't understand that Google Business Profile has a lot of categories. So you want to make sure that your top category is the top thing that you do. So let's just take an example. If you are a plumbing company that also does heating and air and electrical, but your primary thing is you're a plumbing company, you've added heating and air and electrical. So your primary category may be plumbing, but your secondary category could be heating and air, and your third category could be electrical. So just pay attention to that. So here's another example in the chimney industry. Your primary category may be chimney sweep. Well, some chimney sweep, that's all they do is chimney sweep and inspection. So the secondary category, inspections. But if you also do repairs, you may want to have your secondary as chimney repairs. So you have to kind of determine, what do you want as your primary and as your secondary as that goes. So hopefully that makes sense. So I'm hoping that makes sense. But you need to fill out everything that you possibly can on the Google Business Profile, with the exception of the website. If you already have a website, then you want to put that website in. That's the website you're going to want to send them to, all that good stuff. A lot of times there are businesses out there that don't have anything, and so they can build that website on the Google Business Profile. We've had people say, hey, do they perform? Personally, I've never seen one of them rank, but that doesn't mean that they, in the things that we do, I've never seen them rank. I don't go out and check everything. So I can't sit here and tell you, oh, no, they don't ever rank. I don't know. I have no idea. I just can tell you I've never seen a Google Business Profile website rank at all. So, just from me.
But, we do see, just in contrast, we do see all the time businesses who have put just the bare minimum information in their Google Business Profile. And it's really a missed opportunity, because people do visit those. They do look at photos. They do look at videos. They read reviews. There's a lot that they do to make sure that this is the company that they want to do business with. And they'll do it right there from the Google Business Profile instead of even clicking through to your website. So the more information you have there, the more optimized you make it for the kinds of work that you want, the better results you're going to have from it.
Yeah, and the other thing I do want to say, use the Google Posts. The Google Posts are there for several reasons. One is take photos and the things of your actual office. If you have an office, if you work out of your home, or you don't think your office is pretty enough for whatever reason. There are some other things you can do there, which you can do pictures of your jobs. You can do some sales. You can do specials there. And there's a lot of things that you can do on the Google Post. Just kind of read through the guidelines and know that you're going to stick within that. Yeah, so that's good. So here's what happens a lot of times. You optimize your Google Business Profile and people go, that's it, I'm done. Because that's what they see on Google. All right. What you don't know is one of the things that Google does is Google actually goes out and looks at Bing. They look at Yelp. They look at the BBB. They look at the Chambers. And then they look at a whole bunch of other listings online to make sure and verify that listing. It's one of the things that a lot of people just don't understand, that it's kind of everything out there. So with that, claim your other business listings. Bing has a listing. Apple has a map. Yelp, listings on Yelp. What else? Gosh, Facebook has listings. Okay. These are the major ones. You need to make sure that you have those, you're listed on the major ones. But there's a ton of minor ones. There's still, Yellow Pages is still out there. I don't even know them all. There's so many of them out there. And the good news is you don't even have to know them all. anymore. So that's really the great news. You don't have to know them all anymore. I guarantee you, Aaron's on vacation. If he was part of this, he could start rapping them out because that's what he does all day long. You know me, when I'm not doing it, I forget. Gone. And so that's kind of what's happened here.
And they all let you put different kinds of information. They organize it differently. Their directories are done differently. So, it takes a little time to go in and see what you need to do in order to really make the most of a particular kind of listing on a website. But this is, again, back to where consistency is key. This is where we see mistakes because on Google Business Profile, you'll use one business name or your hours of operation are listed as such, and then you go over to a different listing and it's a different set of information, slightly different, just key little things that are slightly different. And it can become a real chore when your hours of operation change during the year. During your busy season, you're working 4 more hours a day than you are during the slower season. To keep that updated and across all of the different places, but it really is necessary for that consistency. It does help.
I think the other thing to remember is it's not just your name. Address is a big one. People mess up their addresses all the time. Sometimes they put the P.O. box. Sometimes they put the street address. And they put this or they put that because different people are filling out different things. So that's another big one that we see is the address is all messed up. Zip codes messed up. Somebody fat fingers something in the wrong number somewhere. So these are all the things you have to really pay attention to. And I'll just tell you, it's a whole lot easier to get it right the first time than try to go back and fix it, because fixing it's a pain, because a lot of fixing it has to be manually. So that's kind of a pain. So Terry's asking another question. So Google has, it's just, what do you mean by Google Posts? On Google Business Profile, if you look at it, you'll see where you can, there's an area that's for videos and pictures and photos and all that. That area is where you can post all those things. So that's what I mean. It's called Google Posts. So hopefully that answers that question.
But they show up with your Google Business Profile online.
Yes, they do. So, well, I'm trying to hide that doggone thing, but I keep messing up. So claim all those other listings. Very, very important. The next thing, and this is huge. I cannot stress how big this is. You must monitor and then respond to all your reviews, because it's not just Google Business Profile. People are on there. They're on Yelp. They're on Facebook. There's a lot of places that people can leave reviews now. They can leave comments and complaints on the BBB. They can. I've even heard people say that they can go, if they know you're a member of the chamber and they're a member of the chamber, they can go in and say, hey, I don't know if that's true or if that's some chambers and not everybody, but yeah, this is really, really important, because when you spend all these marketing dollars, all this money doing things like, going out and optimizing this, and you're spending time if you're doing it yourself, and you don't take the time to actually know if your business is doing well in reviews or not, that'll kill you, because people are paying attention to that. So you got to monitor and respond.
Also, the places like Angie and Home Advisor, those are places where if you use those to get services or to get business, then people will leave reviews there. And just monitoring those things on a regular basis so that you don't have a negative review hanging out there without a reply, without a response, is pretty important.
Yeah, it's really huge. So now here's the other thing is, oh gosh, Taylor, I don't have that much time. I just, I don't have the time. I don't have the deal. I don't have the inclination. How do I get this done? That kind of deal. Well, some of them are manual and you have to do that. But let me tell you guys, there are some listing management tools out there that can actually get you about 90% there, which is great. We, for a long time, did not use them. And I'm going to tell you why we didn't use them, because they were walled gardens. In other words, if you hired them to do something, you had to continually pay and pay and pay and pay and pay, or they would take you down. Well, they got some competition. And so now they've kind of opened up. So in full transparency, yeah, we use one. We use one of these. It helps us keep our costs down, which help us keep our costs down for our clients. So it just makes sense. But for those of you that do it yourself, we want to make sure that you have these tools that you can go out and explore. You can do some research and just decide which one is best for you. So you ready? You can write these down. Here they are. Yext, that used to be the walled garden. They're not so much anymore. I know people that use them that really love them. I know people that use them and have gone to other things that haven't liked them. So it's just kind of a mixed bag. Moz Local, I've never used them, but I do know a couple of people that have and have been pleased. So if that's one of the ones you want to use, we actually use Bright Local. We like their platform. We like how they do it. We like the ease of it. And so that's what we use. However, with that said, again, all of them only get you about 90% there. So you need to make sure that you're everywhere that you need to be. So I think that's really, really important. So what do you think, Carter?
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Yeah, I think, I can't think of anything specific to add other than it does take time, and it is something that it's not a set it and forget it once and done kind of operation. This is something that you need to devote, maybe an hour a month just on a Sunday afternoon to sit down while you're watching TV and not really into it. Instead of doom scrolling through Facebook, you sit there and you just go check all your listings and all your reviews. And just make sure that nothing's changed in the listings, nothing's gone wonky, or you may catch something that you didn't see the last time you looked. Maybe throw a post up or something on Google Business Profile, a new picture that came in this week that you're proud of, a result that you got for a client or something. But then read the reviews and take a minute to respond, even to the good ones, but just even if you did that 1 hour a month, you're already ahead of most people in the amount of time that they devote to it. Should you look at it more often? Yeah, it'd probably be great if you did, 1 hour a week. Well, whatever time it takes a week to read your reviews. Most people can't do it daily. I understand that. But, a lot of people have those reviews forwarded to their phones, so they see the review the moment that it comes out. That's even better. Staying on top of those reviews is really a key part of this strategy. But yeah, that's the only advice I would give.
So just know Spark Live is also released as a podcast. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Podvine, or your favorite player. Next week, you got questions and answers with Carter and me. Oh boy.
I got a couple of good ones the past month that I think are going to be fun to talk about. So make sure you tune in for that. It'll be pretty relevant.
All right. Well, that's awesome. So we will leave it at that. And man, be here if you can, because next week I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be some good stuff coming out. So y'all have a fantastic rest of your week, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.